Cast for 2018. But before we get to that, India's megastar Pawan Kalyan, Indian film actor, producer, director, screenwriter, is in the house today to talk about minority ownership and expanded businesses, which is one of my favorite conversations and topics. Join us for this special edition of the Armstrong-Williams Show. Welcome, my guest, Pawan. Welcome to the Armstrong-Williams Show.
Thank you.
And tell us, and you were the Speaker of the House.
Yes, I was the Speaker of the House.
In India. Man.
One of the largest states in India, Andhra Pradesh.
And that is Manohar Nadenia? Nadendla. You know, I do find it fascinating when the intersection between politics, entertainment, and business. You guys are here on a trade mission.
Yeah.
India is one of the largest economies in the world, but it also has a lot of poverty. And obviously, for you, Pawan, seeing this poverty for so long, you wanted to do something, and you've probably figured out that the best vehicle is through entrepreneurship and through trade missions. And somehow you guys came up with this idea to engage in a partnership with one of the largest minority business suppliers here in the United States. And I think it's just fantastic. Tell our audience about why you're in the United States. I mean, you're a megastar, and obviously you're giving your credibility and your brand to the significance of this project. Why is this project so important?
Before saying about that, the reason why what made me to come into politics is after making money, because right from day one.
You can look at me.
Okay, right from day one, it was not about making money for me. I wanted to serve the nation. I want to serve the needy and the most neglected communities. So actually that's what catapulted me into politics, to set up the party. And now to come to US, and we have a lot of neglected communities and downtrodden communities. So we do understand here what exactly the issue is. So that's what made us to be here, to reach out about, what do you call them?
The minority.
The minority.
The Minority Business Advocacy Organization here in the United States. And just how do you plan to change these lives?
We're looking at, to understand the practices, what they're doing it here, and how could we help each other back in the same neglected communities that back there in India. And they also feel the same need and requirement to get them promoted. So how do we, to take the practices here, the good practices here, and to take back to India. That's what the main intention is.
What's your role in all this?
Okay, I had the opportunity to lead a couple of delegations earlier too. So we felt that trade between India and America is very, very important, and it's picking up at a very rapid pace. And as a political party, we wanted to help the youth of India get more jobs and look at investment opportunities. So coming to Washington, meeting all the senators and people in the government, especially the Minority Business Development Association, we thought we can pick the best practices and take them back and see how we can encourage people to set up their own businesses instead of looking just for jobs. We want them to be the job creators. So that was the concept in which we set up on this journey.
Do you have the infrastructure in place in India to make this work? Listen, the United States is very entrepreneur friendly. That's why so many people leave and come here, sacrifice their lives, leave their families, because this is really a place of opportunity where you don't have many barriers to opportunity. It's amazing what people can create here in the United States and turn into $1 million, $1 billion business. Do you have that same type of friendly structure in India? We
do have challenges, actually. That's what the reason we're doing, to make it more friendlier, to make it more approachable, to make it more comfortable. I think that's our very intention to initiate this, because we have to, we are trying. There are good opportunities out there, a good environment is there, but still we want to make it, enhance it further.
India has moved forward, actually. There used to be a lot of regulatory mechanisms earlier. They made it more democratic, more transparent, so giving a chance for every citizen to get into that and take his dream forward. So we do have opportunities which are there. We still have government regulations in place, but we are learning. We are learning from the best practices around the world, and we are trying to encourage more of the entrepreneurship qualities that most of our Indian youth have.
You guys met with some very key players in our nation's capital. Secretary Ben Carson at Housing and Urban Development, Senator Tim Scott, Senator Paul Ryan, Senator Daines.
Daines.
What role will any of those members or HUD play? Because I know HUD has these opportunity zones. They have these envision centers.
Yeah.
What role, or what did you learn from meeting with Secretary
Of,
Carson?
opportunity zones.
Opportunity zones.
Yeah, because there's a lot of a need for that, to develop that kind of concept back in our state and back in our country. And that is a key factor, I mean, key policy which we're taking back to India, and also about the immigration thing.
One of the things, I've not been to India. One of the few places I've not been in the world. But one of the things that people talk about, they talk about the extraordinary wealth, but they also talk about the extraordinary poverty.
True.
That's what we are about. I mean, our party is about reducing the gap between the haves and the have-nots. You know, we've seen that the struggle is so high that the equality that every citizen should get in terms of his struggle to grow is not available. And we're trying to reduce that to make it more transparent and more available for everyone to share the resources.
Are these entrepreneurs already in the making? Or do they already have businesses that you're trying to enhance? Because if someone doesn't know how they're going to put shoes on their feet, where the next meal is coming from, they don't have a roof over their head, you're talking about taking entrepreneurship from the United States and back to India could be meaningless. What is the bridge that can give this the best chance of working? And are they prepared for it?
When it comes to us, like from the state of Andhra Pradesh, which is newly formed just a few years back, 4 years back. So we have greater opportunities built from the scratch. I think that's where we're taking the advantage. And
what is scratch?
The infrastructure, the fact that the administration
So how
is
long
new.
would it take for the infrastructure to get up to the speed where this can actually work? How many years are we away?
It's more, I mean, more in policy making. I mean, the state was already existing, but it was divided 4 years ago.
I get that, but how far away before you can have meaningful?
We're ready.
You're ready.
We're ready.
So who are the entrepreneurs? Describe them. What type of entrepreneurs would benefit from this?
We are looking at the youth because 65% of India's population today is below 40 years of age.
Wow.
And they are the ones who are seeking out to go to different countries, become bigger, take their wealth back to their families, expand their vision and their horizons. So most of the immigrants coming to America are from our state. And they're all from the information technology world, doctors, engineers. They're all highly qualified people. So technically they're very sound, they're very qualified, and we need to help and promote them. So we are trying to provide a platform where there is skill building and also hand holding. The purpose of the trade mission is to take the best practices and make sure that they are taken back to India and make them understand that these possibilities or ideas are available in America, and they can also come back. And investment can come in both ways.
Why is it that India is so successful at producing people in the areas of STEM? The science, technology, engineering, and math. You know, I got someone who works for us, John Keys, one of our executives, and even when he has his platforms built, they're built in India. And it's all this FaceTime. And I asked myself, why don't you use Americans to do this? And everyone says India does it the best. What makes India so special in this specialized area?
It is about the culture itself is such. We have oral traditions. It's called Vedas. I think that enhanced a lot of. It is there in the DNA. Certain classes are there who are very good in mathematics, and I think that's what made them to excel in all this kind of technology.
So have you given up on the movies and entertainment? Is this what you're going to do full time?
Yes, I do. I did. That's what I'm doing right now. And after doing films, you know, what you say good things in social transformation in films and doing it in real life are two different things.
Right.
And in 2.5 hours, you create a story, you create a problem, you create a solution. But in real life, even if you work for 2 decades also, still you won't get a good solution. But nevertheless, I prefer to do it in real life than in cinema.
Power star. That's what you are, power star, Pawan Kelly. You know what? Let me tell you, we really appreciate what you're doing. Anytime you can lift people out of poverty and introduce them to entrepreneurship, where they can control their own destinies, help their families, become great citizens and contributors to your state overall. That is a wonderful thing. And I'm glad you're setting an example for other actors and entertainers to make this kind of transaction where you have a bigger impact than the impact you had as an actor. I want to thank you both for joining us, and we wish you well.
Thank you, Mr. Armstrong. Thank you
It's
very
our
much.
pleasure.
Thank you for the opportunity.
We'll be back. We're going to look into the strong cast of 2018. Don't go